Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode number 16 of Fishing North Atlantic. Today we are taking you out on the brand new Grim Reefer. So we're gonna need to hire some more crew, and in fact, the other thing that we're gonna need to do is we need to take out a loan because we're not gonna be able to afford to bait all of our lines. So I'm not, you know me, I don't like taking loans. I don't like being in debt, but I don't think we have a choice in the matter at the moment. As such, the first thing I want to do is take a little tour of our brand new boat, the Grim Reefer. So let's go take a look, see what we got. We got our handy dandy little knife there, an angled table. That's interesting. A little chair over here. I don't know what this thing is, but that's there. Looks like a small little cabin or a closet, supply closet. There we go. A couple crew members can sleep there. And let's see here. Yeah, another little cabin right there. We can open that door. And there's some steps right there. We can open that door. And it looks like we got some of our various little spots. And yeah, so looks like, yeah, there we go. The anchor is going to be above the captain's chair, which is going to be a little bit different from the Seize the Day, because we had that behind us in the last boat. So that's interesting. Not much to do up here, it looks like, but if we ever needed to do maintenance on our various satellites and navigation gear and all that jazz, that would all be available to us. But yeah, so that's a quick little tour of our brand new ship called the Grim Reefer. Now, the other thing about the Grim Reefer is it happens to have a reefer on it, which I think is kind of fun. So as you see, we now have the ability to do the normal stuff like the prepare the gear, long line, machine gut, but now we have the ability to freeze and stack the fish, right? So the one thing that I want to do is we need to hire... Oh, we're not going to be able to afford to hire the new crew, are we? For hire. We're going to get a couple of the greenhorns, like the super greenhorns, because these guys with the 1% would be phenomenal. So $17,000 to hire them. So... time to take a loan. All right. Well, I hate taking loans. Let's take a $310,000 loan. We should be able to pay that off in one trip. So, then we'll go back to crew and we'll do for hire. And we're gonna hire Mr. Rudy Smith, and we're gonna hire Victor Walker. So, I don't really care that these people are going to be slow. We are going to train them up eventually, but for now we need to buy some more long lines. So how many do we have first? Hold on. Bait long lines. We've got 16 more. So let's go krill. Let's bait those. So now we got 20 long lines with krill. Let's buy another... We can buy another 60 lines. Let's buy another 100 lines. And then... let's bait those 100 lines. Let's do 10 more on krill. Right? And then we'll do the rest on, crab. So, boom. Now we've got 40 long lines, which should be plenty. The other thing that I want to check on while we're thinking about it. Look at that. So we only have $32,000 left right now. It is May 20th. Okay. So, May 20th. Let's see here. May 20th. Fish seasons. Yeah, okay. So we want to earn enough money to swap over to deep line fishing by June, which is going to be a little expensive for us to do, but it's going to be necessary. Okay. So which one we want to see habitats? I want to see. Okay, they're both mediums. So the redfish are both medium at the moment. Do we have any? Yeah, there's number one. Let's go over here. Oh no. Okay, good. So today's comment shout out. Actually, I'm gonna do this live. But today's comment shout out comes to us from Carl Shaner 2453, who says, the game may allow it, but I really hate that no one uses the cook, even if it's role play. Can't fish on an empty stomach. I agree. So one of the reasons why you've not really seen me use the cook in the past is not because I don't want to. I love the food system here. One of the reasons why we did not use that in the last few episodes is because we didn't need it. I feel like now we're going to start needing it because you see we have 275,578 pounds of available fish here. That's going to exhaust the crew a lot more than the previous ship. So the previous vessel, we weren't out at sea long enough for me to use it. But now I feel like we will be. So be prepared for that, because we are most assuredly going to do that. Let's put the greenhorn out on preparing a line. So hopefully we can find some fishies before too long. This was 14 days ago and they were heading south. Oh, and number 2 is over here too. So let's head this direction. There seems to be a decent number of people down there. Other fishermen and stuff. So we're gonna head down that way. And I will bring you back here in just a moment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We went right where we planned, right down here, and now we're starting to get some redfish on the sonar at several redfish. Okay, we are dropping lines here. Let's start dropping some lines. All right, let's get the greenhorn back out there, preparing some gear. So it's gonna take quite a lot of time to lay out this many lines, but I'm excited for it. So I'll bring you back as soon as we got all of those lines set. Ooh, ladies and gentlemen, I'm still laying out line number 1, but I wanted to bring your attention to the fact that we've got seagulls down here. We got seagulls there, we've got seagulls here, and we got seagulls there. That is good news. Also, I think I'm realizing, did we have 5,000 hook lines in the last episode? I forget. I think we did, but I don't remember. I think the next step is like on the Arctic Pioneer, which has something in the neighborhood of 10,000 hook lines. So I think we did have the 5,000 because I kind of remember getting up to like 500 meters. But remember, it's been about a week since I recorded the last episode, so it tends to leave the brain as I work on that. Anyway, back to laying out some lines. Those seagulls are a beautiful sight. I can't wait to go meet them and say hello. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I laid out a total of 11 lines in kind of like this little hook shape, you know. Hopefully we hook some fish in that, and we will see what we got. So the other thing is we're gonna need to move Mr. Graham, I believe. Long line hauling is a level 20, so Graham goes out here to long line haul. Oh, actually, no, not yet. I forgot. We gotta skip some time here real quick. All right. So let's see here. We got 5 hours on the thing. So let's fast forward a little bit of time. If there's 5 hours on there, we want 14 hours on the thing. And we will do the 1 hour. I usually, you know, instead of going like the full length of time, I do like doing that instead. Mainly because it gives me wiggle room if there's some sort of mistake, some sort of glitch or whatever. It gives us a little bit of wiggle room for that, and we can make any kind of corrections that are necessary at that point. All right, so we got Graham coming out here to the side of the ship, and as is tradition here on the Drakeage 2000 Simulators channel, the D2K Simulators channel, we're gonna go ahead and haul in these lovely fish here in just a few moments. But yeah, let me know down below what you've been doing lately. Have you guys been playing Fishing North Atlantic? Have you been playing Out of Ore? Have you been playing Motortown? I've been playing a lot of Motortown recently. That game is so much fun, especially multiplayer. I've been playing over on the Motor Maven server and live streaming. There's actually a whole live stream series here on YouTube now that you can go and enjoy if you want to catch up on what we've been doing over there. We've been starting a brand new Motor Maven Racing League, which the first race is actually today when this video releases. This video is going to release on June 1st for non-members, but if you want to become a member and support the channel, that is now an option. And in fact, you would get early access to this video. This video actually comes out on YouTube on Saturday. So you would get early access to all of the videos there and support the channel that way. Also, you would end up with some extra permissions down in our Discord. So let's go take a look at these fish. We got a lot of redfish right here. It looks like Graham's got to pick up one more here before we got all of them fishes. Look at all them fishes. I can't do any of my voices. All right, 15,000 pounds of fish on that first line. Not a bad haul. Okay, Sadie has machine gut. Let's put her over here, and then let's see here. His machine gun is a 12 versus hers is a 8 versus our new guys don't have machine gun. So, all right. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and go collect those. I'll bring you back if there's anything interesting, such as like a really large stream or something like that. And yeah, we'll go from there. I'll bring you right back. The other thing is too, we ended up now that I see these seagulls, it reminds me during the trip where we were laying out the lines, I ended up seeing 2 different sets of seagulls while we were out there. So that's encouraging to me, to being able to pull a full boat with the 11 lines. I'm hoping that I won't have to stay out here. However, the way that the this, you know, the Grim Reefer now has a freezer, so I'm not as concerned about getting the fish back in a very, very quick motion, right? Because that's not going to matter as much as it used to. But anyway, I'll bring you back. But I was yapping this whole time. We may as well do this line together. See how many are here. Not that many, but they are redfish. They do weigh more than your traditional fish. So not that many on this line, but this line also previously was not inside of the seagull zone, if you will. So we'll see exactly how many we got here. So we got 15,000 on that first line, and we're gonna see exactly how much we get on this second line here, because Graham is almost done with that in just a moment here. Okay, so the answer is 9,000 pounds of fish. Okay, so if we keep up those numbers, we might need to do a second trip out there. Anyway, I'll bring you back in a little bit. As of right now, though, the recording time, it took me an hour to get to this point of the recording. So just so you know, like, for your own reference, this game does take a long time to do. So definitely save the game in between things. Anyway, let's continue this gathering, and we'll be back in a bit. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That last line was 31,000 pounds of fish. Now we're starting to get into the area where the seagulls were, so I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. Anyway, I'll bring you back. We're approaching line number 9 at the moment, and as was the comment, like, you know, I wish you would use more food. Well, Nora here has been stacking 15,000 pounds worth of fish, and she's absolutely exhausted. So we are gonna feed her a meal now in order to get some of that stamina back. But that's what the meals are for, is the game mechanic of their stamina. It regenerates their stamina more quickly when they're eating. So, but yeah, okay. So the last line that we pulled in was 15,951 pounds. We have a total of 120,000 pounds on board, which is actually way more than we were able to carry on the Seize the Day. So we're pulling in some solid numbers here, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that all plays out and stuff like that. We've only got 3 more lines to pick up. I don't think we're gonna get a full boat of that 275,000 on this trip. I know I said I would probably go and do another set of lines, but as of recording right now, this is an hour and 13 minutes of recording time so far, and I still need to edit this video, and then I've got the Motortown Racing League practice this afternoon, so I've got to set up for that. Oh my gosh, that is going to be a big line. Let's stay around for this. But yeah, so we got the Motortown Racing League this weekend, and that's going to take up a lot of time. I still have a little bit more organizing to do with that, and I hope you'll join me live on twitch.tv/Drakeage2000. I'll also be streaming it here for the proper race, but by the time you see this video, it basically means that the race did happen on June 1st at noon Central Standard Time. So be sure to join for that. I'm going to be taking a vote, and I hope to be able to do race number 2 the following Sunday, but it kind of depends on the racers' availability and stuff like that. But the other thing is I ended up picking up Fishing Barents Sea. So let me know in the comment section below if you want to see a series of that eventually or not. I don't want to stretch myself too thin though, because these videos do take a lot of time to film and edit. So you hitting that like button, you hitting that subscribe button, you coming back for more each episode, it really helps encourage me to make these, because my judgment for a series doing well is kind of like, you know, if yeah, look at that, 36,865 pounds on that one line. But yeah, my judgment for a series doing well kind of falls a little bit more in the line of, you know, did it get, you know, 200 views, or is it consistently pulling in the same number of views? Whereas, like, you know, if you take a look on the channel, I've got an American Truck Simulator playthrough, and it, you know, started going down in numbers as people lost interest in it, which is fine, you know, that happens. But you know, I'm not gonna spend hours making a video that nobody's gonna watch. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's kind of where I'm at with that. But if you want to see more of a series, then all you got to do is smash those like buttons, comment down below. Those are the best ways to tell me that you're enjoying a series. And I really appreciate everybody being here. So I'll bring you back as soon as we finish the next 2 lines. And it looks like, you know, if we can keep getting these 36,000 pound lines, that would be awesome. I think, as a commenter said in the previous, or in one of the previous episodes, I think we may have been on the edge of the ball of fish there. Either that, or they were migrating a little bit more towards the east here. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and stuff like that. Our 2 new greenhorns are rocking away, trying to freeze a lot of that fish. It's gonna take a long time to freeze 102,000 pounds of fish, but oh, and I wasn't paying attention. Anyway, I'll bring you back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching line number 11, which is going to be the final line in this particular set of this fishing trip right here. So the last line was 27,000 pounds, and we're up to 184,000 pounds, which is essentially 2 of the seize the day that we had prior to this, which is phenomenal. I love to see it. It's so nice to finally be in a brand new shiny boat, the Grim Reefer. Let's do this last line together here, and see, you know, hopefully this is another 10 stack line. That would be lovely, because, you know, we need to go out with a bang here. And oh no, that's a really small line. But you know, at the end of the day, right, 184,000 pounds of fish is a pretty darn good haul. I think what we'll do is we'll go ahead and haul this in, which means that we're gonna have to do you know, a lot more gutting. We're gonna need to, you know, get Nora here stacking a little bit more. Our greenhorns are freezing right now. I'm gonna let them keep at that because you know, like they need to do that. But we'll give Graham some food so that he can get ready for that. And our grand total for this trip is 189,368 pounds of redfish, mostly, right? I think we have yeah, and then we ended up with like about 1,000 pounds of pollock, but most of that is redfish, which is pretty good. Redfish does sell for more than pollock, so I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, this is going to take a while to machine gut the rest of this, and then we'll probably move some more people over here to help out with stacking. I'll probably get Sadie back here to cook some more, because Sadie has our highest cooking level is level 11. I don't believe anybody has higher than 11, especially not the new guys. Nora's cooking is a 12. Oh, Nora's actually better at cooking. What do you know? But I'm going to keep putting Sadie on it just because it helps my brain knowing that Sadie's the cook. And the reason why it helps my brain is because Sadie's bunk is right here in this first slot. But yeah, all right. So I'll bring you back here in a little bit. The time of recording is 1 hour and 23 minutes as of now. Anyway, I'll bring you back when we make port. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that took quite a bit of time. We're at 1 hour and 47 minutes worth of recording time. As of right now, we're pulling into Lockport, which has the best price on redfish at the moment. As you see, we still have 9,000 pounds of fish left to freeze and stack, and so that's that's quite a bit of fish to continue to stack. And we used up multiple sets of meals to be able to get to this point. But yeah, so that kind of harkens back to that comment earlier today, during the comment shout out. You don't really need the meals until later in the game, unless you have like a smaller crew, I guess, like and you're using their stamina a little bit more, because you have that smaller crew. But anyway, we only have about 7,000 more pounds of fish to stack, and then it will be a good time to go sell here. We're just outside of port, as we're finishing that all up. And then but again, you know, 189,000 pounds of fish is quite a lot of fish, and hopefully this will be just a big old fat stack of a paycheck that will actually be able to repay that loan that we took out in order to bait up the lines. And hopefully we'll still have enough left over after that in order to go bait those lines again. And as far as our quota is concerned, we have 683,000 pounds of redfish for a quota, and we've got 188,000 of that already knocked out in one trip. So we're gonna have to, you know, balance between redfish and pollock and maybe even some mackerel. But yeah, so the other thing that I want to do is I want to save some money and maybe, you know, train some people up. I think we do have, yeah, we have a couple people with deep line experience. That's gonna be Sadie and Graham, so they'll be doing the deep line hauling once we rig for that next season, which is pretty exciting. I definitely want to get into the tuna. The tuna is like really big money, and especially getting there right at the beginning of a season, we should be able to do some solid numbers with that. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've got 2,000 pounds of fish left, so I'm going to put in a small little cut here, and let's go see what the sell price is. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have just pulled into port here, and our catch is a whopping $700,856.64 after the crew takes an $82,000 cut. That is phenomenal. We will definitely sell that, and boom, look at that. We'll go back to the bank and repay that loan. So pay that off, and we still have 423,000 left over after all is said and done. So let's go ahead and bait those. We've got 11 unbaited, and we'll grab the krill for that. And yeah, so I'm really excited for that, and I hope that you'll join me for the next episode, which will come out next Sunday. Thank you so much for making it to the end of that video. You are an awesome possum, and I will see ya in the next one. D2K simulators. Thank you so much for making it to the end of that video. You're an awesome possum. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, as that goes a really long way in helping this small channel grow. Feel free to join the Discord. There's a link in the description down below, and the YouTube algorithm thinks that you will like this video next. I will see you in the next one.